Welcome back to my channel, guys, and today what we're going to do is change out this master cylinder for the front brakes. Bleed the system while you swap it out because you're going to get air into the system. Basically everything you need to know how to do it. The reason why I'm changing mine works just fine, but the brake lever that I bought is this style right here, and it's an ASV, but the master cylinder here was a different style, so I kind of cut it up a little bit to try to make it work. I shouldn't have because it was not made for it. It's not working as good as I wanted to. So Peter had this one on his bike, and he had another red setup that he wanted to put on it with a whole different master cylinder, and he gave me this whole setup. Good deal for me. So I'm gonna just swap this whole thing because most of the brake levers that I find for these hydraulic brakes are this style for pit bikes. So this is gonna help me out in the long term if I need to replace it anyway. So let's get started. Just to show you guys an idea of what I did, this was the new lever, and you can see this is a different style of master cylinder. So I basically cut this piece was long that was supposed to come out to here. Most of the brake levers that I find are not this style, so I basically jerry rigged it. It didn't have the little thing here that was supposed to be there, so I put a screw in there, and this is just, I don't like it, so I'm gonna swap it out, make it look much better. And while I do this, you guys get to see how this process works. Let's start off by prepping this. All I'm gonna do is unscrew it. Oops. All I'm gonna do is unscrew it, pop this off, and make sure there's enough fluid in there. Look how dirty that brake fluid is too. I'm gonna dump all of this out and replace it. Your caps here are gonna tell you what brake fluid to use, and this one says .3 or .4. I got myself some .4 and pour some brake fluid in there, and just make sure it's full so when we're pumping it, we're not pumping in a bunch of air. After we've done that, I'm gonna put this back on. I'm not gonna screw it in all the way, or I'm not gonna screw it in, I'm just gonna put it on because the front brakes, when you're pumping the brakes, it squirts out fluid. So when you're pumping the brakes, it's just gonna make a mess. So put this back on. The rear brakes, they don't do that. Now we're gonna take this off. It's gonna leak a little bit, so gotta know that that's gonna happen. Leaked a little bit there. All right, now time to put the new one on. So after you take it off, put the new one back on, pour some fluid, fill it up, put the cap back on. Don't put it on all the way, obviously, like I said earlier. And then pump the brake lever. Just pump it a handful of times. It should build pressure after a while, like mine just did. See, now it's hard. There should be air in the system right now, so I'm gonna go down here. We're gonna hold the brake lever down tight, and then we're gonna unscrew this 8mm nipple, and then we should have air bubbles shoot out, and then the handle will get soft, and then we're gonna pump it again, and then hold it, and then while we're holding it, unscrew this a little bit. More bubbles are gonna come out. Screw it back in, pump, and kind of just repeat that process. One thing that I like to do is take a see-through hose, and I have just a regular bottle, and this is mainly just to kind of see how your progress is going and to catch all the excess fluid so you're not making a mess. But basically put that on, and then you're going to see the air bubbles that are coming out, and when the air bubbles stop coming out, that's when you know your whole system is free of air. If you do this process the right way, there's not much bleeding that you're gonna have to do. All I really did is put the fluid in there, and if it was a brand new master cylinder, what you want to do is put the fluid in there and then put your finger on the hole without it being connected. Put your finger on the hole, start pumping the brake, and it's gonna build pressure, And if it's trying to push your finger out, it's building pressure, that means it's working. That's kind of a way to test if yours is working, by the way. And if it is, then you just fill it up, screw this on, and then you should just be able to pump the brake, and it's gonna build pressure and your brakes are gonna work just fine. This is why I wear gloves. This can be a messy job. And comment down below if you get brake fluid on your fingers, and then even if you wipe it off and you touch your clothes, do you guys like have this really weird feeling, like it's so uncomfortable? Comment down below if that's you, because that's definitely me. Well guys, that is how you change the brake master cylinder on the front brakes of the dirt bike, and a little bit of the bleeding process and getting the air out of the system. If you want a more in-depth video on that, I'll have a link right above, a suggested video. Click on that and that'll take you to where I did the rear brakes and I bled the system. I did more filming and more detail on that. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Get us into that YouTube algorithm so we can make more awesome video for you guys. Hope that helped you guys. It's a very easy, simple process. You can get it done in like, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. So just go out there, get it done, challenge yourself, do it. We'll see you in the next one.